How often do you feel lonely, isolated, stressed, like more is expected of you than you can deliver? Does it stem from work challenges, personal circumstances, or maybe the general worrying state of the world right now? Well, you're not alone in feeling this way. These are some of the most common emotions felt by neighbourhood centre leaders in their leadership role. Neighbourhood centres are community hubs that dedicate themselves to being a safe space of inclusion, creativity, and all encompassing support for their communities. They navigate the vast array of social, financial, political, health, and cultural challenges and struggles that impact their communities by offering beneficial services and activities. In times of personal, local, and national crises, such as mental health struggles, the housing crisis, or healthcare access, neighbourhood centres work to support and guide their communities to a place of strength, stability, and social cohesion. However, as noble as this goal is, it is not without its challenges, as the centres and their leaders are not exempt from feeling the same effects and emotions as their community members. In collaboration with Neighbourhood Centres Queensland, the peak body for Queensland's neighbourhood and community centres, this project aimed to take a deep dive into these struggles. Placing a closer focus on the role of the leader in neighbourhood centres, this project investigated the challenges they face and the strategies and tactics they employ to navigate these struggles.
A resilient and sustainable working environment. This project aims to explore how these can be applied to a workplace setting. Resilience is defined as the ability to recover from the things that have negatively impacted our life. For our research, mental health resilience will be the main focus. This research views resilience as a personal responsibility, as individuals are tested in maintaining good mental health against adversity. In the context of the workplace resilience, it can be divided into behavior and job crafting. Resilience behavior are reactive, looking at the coping mechanism of individual, where job crafting is proactive. It looks at preventative measures. For neighborhood center leader, resilience is a crucial quality, enabling them to navigate and overcome the diverse challenges inherited in their leadership roles. It is also important to problematize this definition, as the narrow framing of resilience excuses organization of any responsibility. Instead, the International Labour Review advocates for the shift towards sustainable workplace practices. Recent discourse surrounding these issues reflect the organization's responsibility to establish the foundation which foster healthy workplace practices. Thus, this research aims to understand the organization, operational, and personal challenges and strengths that neighborhood center leaders utilize to manage their well-being. The research has been carried out throughout neighborhood centers from all regions of Queensland. Centers will be excluded if they are unfunded, managed by local government or a large non-profit, or newly formed. A purposive sampling strategy was utilized as our research targeted a specific group of neighborhood center leaders. We maintain diversity in leadership experience, gender, geographic location, center size, and years of employment amongst our sample. After our sample was secured, semi-structured interviews followed the thematic analysis were conducted. This allowed data to be collected on the strategies used by neighborhood centers leaders to stay resilient and generate a sustainable work environment.
In the following section, we are going to explore the challenges faced by neighbourhood centres leaders in Queensland, including the work-life imbalance, the characteristics of being a leader, and the structural limitations. Across our interviews, almost every leader described how work and personal life had become deeply intertwined. The constant engagement blurred the boundary between professional and personal time, leading to fatigue, emotional exhaustion, and risk of burnout. The result was a cycle where even attempts to rest were overshadowed by thoughts of unfinished work or community concerns. The second challenge revolves around the very nature of leadership itself. Our participants describe leadership as an identity built on compassion, responsibility, and strength, but it can also lead to isolation and emotional strain. One participant said,
"As the CEO, they come to me. Everyone approaches me."
This constant reliance created an emotional burden that was often invisible yet deeply felt. Leaders internalize high expectations of themselves. Their stress came from self-imposed standards to do everything right. At the same time, characteristics such as empathy, self-awareness, and optimism were also identified as protective factors. This means that while these traits can heighten stress, they also form the foundation of resilience and positive organizational culture. For the structural and systematic barriers, leaders across all regions report struggling with inadequate funding, bureaucratic constraints, and over-concentrated responsibility. Another leader described the tension of competition, explaining that nearby centers often compete for the same limited government grants. Participants also expressed frustration about slow government processes and rigid funding systems. Without addressing these structural barriers, individual resilience strategies and sustainability will always be limited in impact.
So after hearing about the challenges leaders are dealing with, the question becomes, how do they actually cope with it? One of the most common strategies is building a strong supporting network. Many leaders find that talking with mentors, families, or even friends outside their organizations helps them manage stress and gain different perspectives. These relationships create a safe space for honest conversations, sharing experience without judgment. Having access to mentors also gives leaders confidence to navigate unfamiliar situations and learn from those who face similar challenges before them. Another crucial strategy is trust in co-workers. Many leaders explain that giving responsibility and believing in team abilities not only reduce personal workloads but also strengthen collaborations. Trusting others allow leader to step back a little bit and focus on the big picture. As one leader shared, it is the shared leadership and trust that we have in the team are quite capable. This kind of mutual trust builds strong relationships and more resilient workplace culture. Equally important is disconnecting from work. Leaders acknowledge that while their role will never finish, setting boundaries is essential for long-term well-being. Turning off email after hours, spending time with families, enjoying hobbies, or simply saying, at the end of the day, that is all I can do today. Help them recharge and return to work with positivity. In conclusion, our research highlights that sustaining leadership in neighborhood center rely on more than individual resilience. It depends on collective effort and supportive structure. Leaders who build strong networks, trust their team, and allowing themselves space to rest demonstrate that well-being and effective leadership are deeply connected. When leaders are supported to look after themselves, they are better equipped to look after their teams and their communities. We would like to acknowledge Professor Linda Schercher for her valuable guidance, Professor Paul Hinman and Dr. Elizabeth Lord Ahern for their supervisions, Mr. Chris Mundy and Neighbourhood Centres Queensland for their collaborations. Most importantly, we thank all participants for their honesty, effort, and contribution to this project. Thank you.